Commander on deck!
I'm gonna be damned, man. Can you not see I'm working here?
Can you not see a superior officer's end of the road? The punishment for not saluting an officer can result in bad conduct discharge, total forfeitures, and confinement for 1 year.
At ease, Chief. The doctor's a civilian and doesn't know any better.
Sir, yes, sir.
Is it ready?
This is delicate work, Grand Marshal. Nothing like it has ever been attempted before. Which is probably why people shouldn't be sneaking up on me.
I shouldn't have to remind you of the importance this project could hold for the Continuum, Dr. Carlyle.
All the more reason to do it calmly and carefully. They say this quadrant is cursed, Marshal.
I didn't take you for the superstitious type, Doctor. Aren't you a man of science?
Yes, but after the disasters that befell here...
I don't need a history lesson, Carlyle.
Of course. Sorry, sir.
Now, when will the machine be ready?
It's hard to say, sir. The energy output has been way higher than predicted.
Focus, Carlyle. Time is of the essence.
I know, sir, but our initial projections for the capabilities of the machine may have been criminally underestimated.
Speak plainly, Doctor. Will it work?
Not yet with our intended purpose in mind, sir, but perhaps with one far beyond what we believe possible.
By the gods. You can't possibly mean...
Yes, sir! We may be looking down the barrel of time travel!
Welcome to the adventures of Felix Space Pirate, Episode 3, The Grind!
No, of course not.
This one then?
No, I know that guy.
No, that's perfectly good
A
sound.
history with that dude.
Fine. What about this escort job?
Escort job?
Oh, right. That's escort service, not
Yeah.
escort service. This one?
No. No. Definitely not. Nope.
You're gonna have to choose one eventually, Cap.
This is all amateur work, Malkin. We have an incredible new asset. We should break her in on something spectacular.
Is it a good idea to throw Amira into the deep end so soon?
What's the point of having a master code breaker on board if we're not using her to break master codes?
I'm not saying we shouldn't put her skills to good use. I'm just saying we don't want to scare the girl off by tossing her headfirst into something she's not ready for.
She's ready if I say she's ready, Navigator. If she can't hack the Major League, she's no use to... Hi, Amira! I see my clothes are fitting all right. How are you feeling?
Much better, thanks. Nothing like a good shower to clean the mind.
What's a shower?
Oh, right. The, thing on the ceiling of the refresher that shoots out hot water.
You mean the hydro spray?
Yes, that. What are we looking at?
This, Amira, is a map of the Continuum. Every known culture and race makes its home in this little slice of the galaxy.
Wow. So, is this us here? Inside the conglomerate quadrant?
Yep, that's us in the Royal Witch, hanging just outside the financial system.
And, these other three areas? What are they?
Continuum's divided into 4 main quadrants. The conglomerate here, the sovereignty here, the barons here, and the remnant.
We found you in the Barrens, a lawless paradise where there are no rules and no one to tell you what to do.
Unless you cross one of the dozens of warlords who claim to run things there.
I think I somehow already did that.
Don't listen to Malkin, dear. The Barrens are where we go to get away from it all.
And where are we now? The conglomerate. What's that?
Imagine the most bureaucratic bureaucracy that ever bureaucrated. Now multiply that by 10 and you'll be close to the pencil-pushing, memo-writing corporate keth that is the conglomerate.
Basically, the corporate council of the conglomerate became so rich and powerful that they bought their own chunk of space, seceded from the old empire, and declared themselves their own ruling government.
Bunch of suit-wearing, money-grubbing suck-ups, if you ask me. Still, they have their uses. We're sitting outside their capital right now.
If you want real civility, you have to look to the sovereignty.
As you're so fond of reminding us.
Because it's true.
Malkin, you're a sweetheart, but we are never going to a masquerade ball.
As you are so fond of reminding me.
I'm sorry, you lost me.
The sovereignty is where the old nobility likes to pretend they still matter by upholding ancient traditions, holding pompous banquets, and just generally acting pretentious.
And keeping the faith.
That, too.
All right. And what's this last one? The Remnant?
We don't talk about that one.
Why not?
It was the capital system of the old empire.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Bad things happened there.
Such as?
If we told you, we'd be talking about it, and we don't talk about it, remember?
Not even if there's a big blinking light in it?
Not even then.
Whoa, hang on. Amira's right though, Captain. Look at the map. It's huge.
And there are dozens more just like it throughout the continuum.
Not this big, Felix.
You know we don't do jobs there, Malkin.
I also know you wanted to put Amira's skills to good use.
I'm sorry, does someone want to explain to me what this thing actually is?
It's part of our job rating system.
Your what?
It tells us how dangerous a heist could potentially be before we pull it.
But also the potential loot to be plundered.
I see.
I won't lie to you, Amira. We are pirates.
Yeah, I know.
You do?
Well, that pale guy called Felix one before. Plus her coat and your earrings. Your whole getup kind of screams pirate, which is weird, but no less true.
And you're okay with it?
Sure. I mean, if I had ears like Malkin's, I'd put a ton of earrings in them too.
No, I didn't mean that.
Really, Amira?
Absolutely. You're killing it.
That may be one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me. You see, Captain? At least someone on this ship appreciates good fashion.
That may be true, but it isn't you.
Sweet grandma's spatula.
Has he been here the whole time?
Yeah, he does that a lot.
When I'm quiet enough, no one asks me to do any work.
Does he maybe have a screw loose or something?
That's offensive.
His motivator's defective.
Oh, well, I'm sure I could fix it if...
Amira, don't!
He likes it that way for some reason. Won't even let us get close to it.
Oh gosh, no harm meant, buddy. As far as I'm concerned, your components is your business.
You are forgiven, but never try to push my buttons.
Where did you guys find a robot with, so much character?
Malkin found him, just floating in the middle of deep space. Someone must have dumped him out there. Poor guy.
You found him in deep space? How?
With ease.
Malkin is Merlovian. Their large ears give them flawless senses of direction.
What? But there's no air in space. How can you hear if there's no sound?
These babies don't just work with sound. They also pick up on radiation. Cosmic background radiation, to be exact.
Your ears do?
Merlovian ears have small little pockets of gas with them that ionize whenever they detect radiation. And that sends interpretable electrical signals directly into my brain.
Oh, like a Geiger counter.
Geiger counter? Suppose I'd get in on intimate situations every now and again.
What? No, not a Geiger counter, a Geiger. You know what? Never mind. What's the story behind your species, Felix? I remember you saying that artists are willing to pay to depict you. Is there a reason behind that? If you don't mind me asking.
As long as you don't mind not getting an answer.
Captain, she has to find out eventually.
Find out what?
You know how I feel about this, Malkin.
We're gonna be asking her to risk her life, Captain. The least we can do is have a little bit of transparency.
Wait, back it up a bit. When will I be risking my life?
You'll be hacking for us from the safety of the ship. Hardly life-threatening.
And why will I be doing that?
We're pirates, Amira, and you're one of the best hackers we've ever seen. With our skills combined, we have the capacity to get crazy rich together.
I thought you guys were gonna help me get to the bottom of my identity crisis.
And we will! You have my word. But is there any reason we can't make some money in the meantime?
Maybe because it sounds like you're asking me to be your criminal accomplice.
She has a point, Felix.
Well, it sounds bad when you say it like that. Think of it more as a charitable redistribution of wealth.
By stealing.
Amira, It's a rough universe out there. The only way to survive is to look out for yourself and hopefully make enough so that you can also give to others while you're at it.
So like a Robin Hood thing?
Is that a kind of cope?
He's a legendary heroic outlaw, steals from the rich, gives to the poor.
Then yes, absolutely. We take only what others can afford and give to those who can't.
We're robbing all of the hoods.
Nice try. Okay then, I'll help. But Malkin's right. If I'm gonna break the law for you, whether it's for a good cause or not, I need transparency. Where are you from, Felix? And why do you do this?
Because some people can exist within the system, kid, and some just can't.
I'm gonna need a little bit more than that.
Well, that's all I've got. Take it or leave it.
I think what the captain's trying to say is, we don't fit into normal society. For example, I was a unpaid laborer for a while. And Felix is one of the last of her species. It's why artists desire her and why we avoid regular employment. She's a wanted commodity.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Forget about it.
It's all right. But now you know why we operate outside the law. So, will you help us?
I guess so.
Thank you, Amira.
What now, then?
Now you get to see the best parts of the job.
Which is?
Getting paid! Right now we're outside the financial system to sell our hard-won bounty.
Are you selling to some corporation? I thought you gave to the less fortunate.
The less fortunate don't exactly have the money to buy a grillium. We sell to the corpos and give the proceeds to charity. After we feed ourselves, of course. Take us in, Tim. Well, if it isn't my favorite executive assistant, Dorothy Amberthor. Fancy seeing you here.
This is my landing platform.
Corpos can't ever just play along. And here you are, looking fancy as always.
Standard issue carbon corporate suits are the finest money can buy.
And it looks dazzling on you.
The state of my dress is hardly of imported precedent.
Yes, away with pleasantries. A girl can try to have some fun, can't she?
That is outside of my purview of expertise.
Then shall you fetch your boss so we can talk business?
That is agreeable. However, one matter must be settled first.
Sweet Algon's testicles!
There's an unidentified intruder on the premises.
Take it easy, Dorth. The kid's with us.
How about we all put our guns away and talk about this like adults?
You brought an unknown entity onto corporate grounds without company clearance.
You know as well as we do that our transactions are barely sanctioned by upper management as it is. How would your boss's bosses feel if they learned his largest shipments were actually brought in by pirates,
You would never compromise our position with such an imprudent proposition.
Wouldn't I? It's a calculated risk, Dory. She's a part of my crew now. Recall the lengths I've pursued in the past to recover my crew members, and then consider what I'm capable of.
Regardless, unverified assets invariably lead to needless liabilities.
I trust her, Dorothy, and I never would have been able to bring in this sweet haul of grillium to your doorstep without her. So, shall we put this behind us? It would be a shame to have to hyper-compress that dazzling fine suit of yours, especially with you still in it.
Captain Raslathon. Fancy seeing you and my assistant pointing guns at each other.
Acquisitions Officer Trantor Linnaeus. I was wondering when you would grace us with your presence.
Apologies. I was caught up in paperwork. Stand down, Miss Amberthor. Unless you and our highest value associate plan on executing one another in an unsanctioned firefight.
No, sir.
A preferable alternative, I think we'd all agree.
Oh, most certainly, officer.
Excellent. Would you join me in my office for the transfer of payment, Captain? With refreshments, of course.
Of course. Offload the man's agrillium while we're gone, won't you, Malkin, dear?
Straight away, Cap.
Jeez, Felix wasn't kidding. These guys are crazy about rules.
That was nothing. Most corporals would have had you killed without a second thought.
No way. You're trying to tell me that lady was easygoing?
Product manager once tried to have my tongue cut out for yawning at work.
You're kidding.
Why do you think Linnaeus and Amberthor are the only corporals we deal with?
But if they're so uptight, why deal with them at all?
We're pirates, Amira. Most of our clients aren't exactly the reputable sort. We have to take what we can get. Linnaeus pays well and doesn't ask hard-hitting questions most of the time.
Most of the time?
Most of the time. Then we just have to hope Felix can keep her cool long enough to get in and out without letting him talk her into anything stupid.
Everything is accounted for, computer?
Yes, Captain.
Every single credit?
Yes, Captain. Payment complete.
Well, thank you, computer.
You're welcome, Captain.
Not that I shouldn't have taken a percentage off for the trouble you caused me.
But you know I'm the best. Cheers. To another load of loot successfully stolen.
And successfully bought. So, what's next for you, Captain?
We'll probably head to Nobilia 4 to make sure our charitable donation goes through all right.
Your commitment to acts of negligible righteousness always astound me.
Don't look at me. My navigator's the one with a hard-on for charity.
The things we do for our subordinates.
Amen.
Now, tell me about the girl.
What's there to tell?
You don't take just anyone onto your ship, Captain, let alone into your crew.
She's a skilled computer engineer. That's it.
So she has nothing to do with why the Scarlet Guardians have been more active in the past 2 days than the last 50 cycles?
She's just a girl, Trant. What do you want me to say?
She isn't like any girl I've seen, Felix. Where did you find her?
The Barrens.
What planet?
Electra.
That is entirely surprising.
Look, she may have been in some kind of trouble that I helped her out of, but I'm taking care of it. The girl's a genius, Trent. She hacked a spaceport mainframe remotely, like it was nothing. We're going to be operating at a way higher caliber very soon. You'll see.
I believe you, but that doesn't mean she isn't a liability, and that perhaps you might owe me compensation.
Of what sort?
The Sovereignty is conducting experiments of an unknown nature in the Remnant.
No.
I know of your hesitancy to return to your quadrant of origin, but...
Malkin already brought this particular job to my attention, Trant. I'm good.
Not even if it protects the galaxy from enslavement.
What? These experiments. You know what they're up to, don't you?
I may have more information.
Well, spill it then. As long as you know that nothing you say will make me go back there.
What if I were to tell you that the Sovereignty is tampering with linearite?
Not my problem.
That's negligence of the worst variety, Captain.
If it's so important to you, acquisitions officer, why not send anyone else for this job? Why me?
Sending company men could cause a galactic incident. It has to be you, Felix.
Thanks for the drink, Trant.
That should be the last of it.
Malkin, she's coming back.
You're positive there's no incentive I can offer you?
I thought I'd made that clear by now, Trant. Is everything offloaded?
We're good to go, boss.
We'll be taking our leave then.
There is one last bit of information I was holding back.
And why didn't you tell me this when we were in your office?
I don't want this complication to cloud your judgment.
All right. Spit it out.
It's of a slightly personal nature.
Gotcha. By Ayev Ker Shurjem Maz Ashev, Vem Perpay Ayen Levem.
What? Felix, what did you say?
Pazor?
Malkin, what's going on?
Pedback? Seker Sher Velok Pazev.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Ete per Ayetzi?
Grand Marshal Knight Ayet Halak.
Oh, Krem.
Bakavalor.
Stalase. The Air Talum.
Everyone on board, we're leaving. Malkin, plug in coordinates for the Crystal Cascade.
Captain, maybe we should think about this before we...
No, Tim.
Just a minute. The credits are almost over.
Why do you have to sit through the credits for every single thing you watch?
It's respectful.
Since when do you have respect for anything?
I respect artistic integrity.
Show some respect for the chain of command and run a diagnostic on the temporal shields. We don't want to get caught in a time pocket with our pants down.
Someone want to tell me what the heck just happened?
Well, it's looking like your lucky day, Amira, because we're on our way to the remnant.
You didn't tell her about the time crystal?
What's the third rule of acquisition, Miss Amberthor?
Never spend more for an acquisition than you have to.
And the 74th rule?
Knowledge is currency.
Gladaya Knight ruined the good captain's life. A chance at revenge was all the incentive she required.
But surely being informed of the crystal's presence would increase her likelihood of success.
She'll find out soon enough. Best we keep our dice covered for the time being. Speaking of, you played your part in our charade most admirably.
Thank you, sir. Did you learn what you needed from the pirate's reaction?
Indeed. She knows nothing of the girl's true origins, nor why the Blood King covets her.
Then why the protectiveness?
Because in her heart, Miss Razlathon is still a child, searching desperately for a family, and God's help anyone foolish enough to stand between her and those she adopts.
Sounds like someone else I know.
Please, Miss Amberthor, never compare me with the likes of a criminal, even one as respectable as Felix Razlathon.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Of all the variables present in our current calculations for the continuum, the crew of the Royal Witch is the only control which remains constant. I trust you to retain your objectivity, Dorith.
Of course, sir.
Then let's go, Miss Amberthor. We have work to do.
You've been listening to the adventures of Felix Space Pirate. Tune in next time and we'll see you in the starry skies.
And now, take a listen to a teaser for the new fantasy epic series, Fate of Core.
The year is 1907, and Kor is still at war with Vitaru. Navy Lieutenant Lel Drozdov is caught in the crosshairs of the Dragonborn fleet, stumbling upon a briefcase filled with evidence implicating his Tsar's plot to kill his own citizens. Does he turn a blind eye, or does he fight for what he believes in? Tune in to The Fate of Kor, wherever you can find podcasts.